Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews.
And if you like listening to audiobooks, click the link in the description for our free 30-day trial with Audible. And while you're online, if you're shopping, check out the Rakuten link for a $10 credit.
Well, let's get started with Married at First Sight. Ah, boy, what an episode here.
Oh, my God.
What an episode. The weddings are done. We see our couples, go to their rooms. We see our couples starting to interact with each other. We see our couples starting to have conversation. Their first night together. Mm-hmm. First night together, and we'll start with Ryan and Claire. Claire mentioned that Ryan is what she expected. Uh-huh. She said what she expected, and she's happy. She wants to get to know him even better. She wants to get him know him any better. While they were sitting in the bed, they had, she asked the question, "What's your top 2 moments?" Mm-hmm. Top 2 moments of the wedding. Now, this is their top 2 moments, not ours. Because I thought it was funny because I heard a lot of you guys and I've seen a lot of people on social media talk about it. The blindfold. He said one of the top moments. She said one of the top moments was the blindfold. A lot of people didn't like the blindfold situation because it's like
kind of weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. So she mentioned the blindfold being one of the top moments. Also, meeting their family for the first time. It was another top moment.
I think it's funny that she would say the blindfold thing was her top moment because she didn't like it coming out, and even when they were standing there with them on, she was like, oh, this is uncomfortable, this is weird. So for her to say that was, I guess she's saying that because it was unique, it was different, but
it was different. But I mean, you had already didn't see each other. I guess they wanted to see each other at the same time, which wouldn't that kind of do the same thing if I'm looking up the aisle, she looking down the aisle, we wouldn't still see each other at the same time. I'm just saying. We found out that Claire is a sleepwalker.
Oh my gosh.
And a sleep talker.
Oh my gosh.
She does both. He
was like, I just did what I was told. She said, I should have warned you. Yeah, that's
I think you let somebody know that. I understand. If you're a snorer, yeah, by the way, I snore. That's the kind of conversation we have when we get into the room that night. By the way, I'll let you know that I'm a snorer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to snore a little bit. But if you're a sleepwalker and you're a sleep talker,
you got to let somebody know.
Because I'll be scared.
If you've been in the Iraq war and you got PTSD and you just hop up in the middle of the night, you got to let a sister or a brother know.
When you're sitting there walking and talking and you're doing things and you sleep, I need to know. And then we're in unfamiliar territory. It's not our house. This is like a hotel room we in. Bruh. First night together and you up walking and talking.
You be done hurt yourself.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You might be talking in gibberish. It scared somebody, but he said he just was still. He didn't know.
She should have told him that.
Yeah, she should have told him that. Should have let him know that. It was that's weird. That's weird. This sleepwalking talk. That is definitely weird. They did some spooning. They had some spooning going on. Mm-hmm. No downtown pounding, as she said it. They did not pound downtown. Just spooning. Which. So we'll get to the other couple later, but spooning is fine.
Yes.
If it's your first night with your spouse, y'all lay it up close to each other. It is nothing wrong with that. We saw Eric and Virginia. They had laid up close with each other. She laid on his smooched all on him. Smooched all on him. So there's nothing wrong with a little bit of spooning. But one thing Clara did say, she wouldn't have been opposed to some downtown pounding. She wouldn't have been opposed if Ryan wanted to pound downtown. Yeah.
Ryan ain't moving that fast.
Those are her words, not mine.
Yeah.
Pounding downtown.
Ryan ain't moving that fast. She might not have been opposed to it. He don't look like the type. And not that he not feeling her. He not going to move that fast.
He's not. He going to be respectful. Because the background that he comes from with both his parents.
Which we find out a little bit later.
Yeah.
We'll find out a little bit later.
That is, both his parents are very religious. But we'll come back to that.
So yeah, we find out that Ryan's parents are ministers.
Yes.
And that makes Clara a little bit nervous.
A little bit nervous because she said she went to 1 year of Bible college.
Yes. And she didn't finish and she hasn't been back to church since.
I don't know what Bible college she went to. They must have scared the bejeebers out of her.
I'm confused.
She's not into organized religion, she said.
But I'm not confused about that. I'm like, you must have been in to church religion to make you go to Bible. Like, did you just go to Bible college just to go because you wanted to learn some more? Or was you actually in that vein? And then, like, you haven't been back to church since Bible college? Like, dang.
Hey, she must have went to a bad Bible college.
So I don't know what they did, taught her.
Yeah, but she was nervous when she had to come meet their parents because she didn't know what to expect. I would think she would be nervous too because, again, just natural, not just because they're religious people, but because of the race issue. Mm-hmm. I thought that would have been something that she'd have been nervous as well. Are they going to accept me? Are they going to receive me as being... And same, vice versa. Mm-hmm. You know, even for when you go to Ryan's side, are they going to receive me for who I am?
But I think both of their parents, sets of parents, already know them. Like, obviously, Ryan's parents know. I'm sure he's dated, he's dated a white girl before. Mm-hmm. He said the school he went to was predominantly white. Right. A lot of his friends are white. So, and same thing for Claire. I think Claire said she's dated a variety of races, nationalities of guys. So it's not a surprise. And then I think just their interaction with each other, they know that, they could probably tell their parents not going to have an issue with that part. Yeah. But yeah, so Claire goes to meet with Ryan's family. She meets with his mom and his dad. This is like the really first time we're seeing his dad. Yeah. And his brother.
And his brother.
And they're like, how do you feel about Ryan? Well, she says, I learned he doesn't have any felonies. Or the dad said he doesn't have any felonies. Right. And he's hoping Ryan made a good impression. Yes, Ryan made a good impression. She did express to them that she got, she says to the side, she got burnt out with the church a while ago, and organized religion isn't really her thing. And she's concerned that because his parents are religious, they're ministers, there's going to be a push for her to go to church. And, if they get to the point where they're married for a while and they have kids, then that'll be a push.
But again, that's one of those things on the questionnaire that I think when they signed up for this show, that was something that was asked. Mm-hmm. And she must have checked, you know what, I'm religious. I go to church. So if you check that and now you get somebody who's real religious, what's the, not real religious, but somebody who's been brought up in religion, mm-hmm. what's the push?
Right.
What's the issue?
Right. And the parents didn't really focus on that so much, but the mom did say, that she prayed for her sons to get some good wives and while they were growing up, and that God would have his perfect will and direct them and stuff. So I don't think they didn't really push it on her, but they obviously, it's them, it's what they live.
It's who they are.
So they're going to talk about that. So
yeah, it's who they are.
She looked a little uncomfortable, but
yeah, she was a little uncomfortable, but she relaxed. They made her feel comfortable in there. Mm-hmm. She was worried about their perception of her and what they perceive her to be or where she is. But she realized, you know what, they're just normal people who care about their son and want their son to have some woman who is in the same realm of religion or culture.
Yes. And she did ask, well, is there anything that you want to share with me about Ryan? Like, is he neat or is he messy? And the mom said that I think probably a lot of parents run into this. When he was in my house, I just knew the health department would have come and condemned his room.
Yeah, we got one like that.
But since he's gotten on his own, she's like, I'm surprised. Like, he keeps it nice and neat. He does the yard, takes the trash out. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. So Claire was like, okay, well, that's good. But like I said, I know probably all parents, I'm praying that'll be the case with my kids. I'm like, when you get out on your own, you'll learn. You got to take the trash out.
And I understand with the hotel room, but when you looked at all her stuff that she had in the hotel room, she's not nice and neat either. No. It was thrown all over the place. She couldn't find the little rainbow that she was looking for, so she's not a neat freak neither. So it might be a good thing that he is a neat freak, because she looked like she just scatterbrained.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we see Ryan meet with her parents. And they ask, what made you want to go this way to get married? And he said, I tried the other things. Right. I said, well, I'm going to just do it this way. And maybe this is the way I was supposed to get a wife. Right. So it's worth a try because I've been that way. And he just wanted to restate to them that, I'm a respectful guy. I grew up respectful. I learned manners, and I'm assuring you that I'm going to respect Clara. I'm going to honor her. I'm going to treat her right. You don't have to worry about her with me. And they said that she doesn't. The one thing they wanted to tell him was that when it comes to disagreements and arguments, she didn't get a good picture of that, because the mom said, we didn't argue around. They didn't have arguments around. Most parents don't, though. We didn't have arguments around our kids.
Yeah, they hit it. They had arguments. They probably went in the bedroom, closed the door, waited till the kids went to sleep. They had a disagreement. So Clara never had the advantage or option to see how to handle a disagreement and how to handle an argument. So she's used to just giving in. She doesn't know what to expect.
And when Ryan goes back to talk to Clara, she says that. She said, I was in a relationship with a guy, and we never argued. We never, I'm not confrontational. We just kind of pushed up under the rug. Like, we walked around like we was irritated with each other, but we never talked about it.
And that's a bad place to be in a marriage or a relationship, when you're just walking on eggshells and you never address any issues, you never address any problems or circumstances. Doesn't necessarily have to be a fight. But we need to address this issue. We need to talk about this situation. We just can't let it linger, because when you let situations and you let stuff linger, that's when it gets bigger.
Yes.
And that's when you had that massive blow up, because you hadn't fixed the situation in the first place.
And so her parents just tell him, you're gonna have to help her communicate. That's gonna be key for y'all. The mom says, for us, divorce is not really an option.
Right.
It's not an option. So, work it out. Y'all learn how to communicate and figure it out and get through your disagreements.
And I think that's cool, because I think if you ask both parents, divorce is not an option on Ryan's parents, and divorce is not an option on Clara's parents. So if they do have disagreements throughout this season, I do think they're going to have disagreements. I think they're going to be able to work it out, and that divorce will not be an option for them, that they're going to get whatever it is fixed. And hopefully, as I say, I'm going to say it again later on, I hope that experts are heavily involved in this season, more so than past seasons.
Yeah. So what else we see with Ryan and Clara? We see them later on talking about when they get their basket.
Yeah.
They get their basket from the experts with their wifey and their husband shirts, and they find out that they're going to Las Vegas.
Going to Vegas.
And Clara says she's been to Vegas hundreds of times.
And Ryan said he's been there too.
Yeah, and she says she's not a gambler. Ryan says that's cool.
That's cool, but he's still going to see the sports books.
Yeah, he said, when we get there, we're going to do whatever Clara wants to do first, but then I'm going to do, check out the sports books. Ryan and Clara agree that they've been having a good vibe. They're building a good base friendship. And she said again, she's ready to take it to the next level.
She said that several times.
She said, I'm ready to take it to the next level. So we're gonna see if they can get to that level. I think
they get to that level on that honeymoon.
They're gonna start. I don't know. They start real slow. Ryan said he moved slow.
But he moves slow and he's calculated.
Yes.
Remember, he said he moves slow and he's calculated. So everything that he does is going to have to make sense. It's going to have to be in the right moment, at the right time, right energy. So I think it happens, but it's going to move at his pace.
Yes.
Unless she just jumps his bones. And which could be a case. She could just jump his... It's possible. She could just jump his bones. I believe that was Beth and Jamie where she just jumped his bones on their honeymoon. But it's possible that it's possible that Ryan and Claire could get to that point.
They might.
They might.
They might enjoy Vegas that much.
They might just avoid Vegas that much.
All right, next. Let's go to Eric and Virginia.
Eric and Virginia, man. Eric and Virginia, they get to the hotel room, and Virginia cannot keep her hands off of Eric.
What's new?
Well, she can't keep her hands off of Eric. She said, he meets all my expectations. He kind of check all the boxes. He's like, I like him. I like him. Now, as I mentioned, I don't know if that was the alcohol talking. It might be a little bit of both to her. But she really enjoys Eric. And they sat there, even when they got into the bed that night, they were sitting there. She rested her head on his chest. Cuddled up. They had conversation. And they were just talking and laughing. And she...
everywhere he had, she had a kiss for it.
She had a kiss for it. She couldn't keep her hands off of Eric. And, and Eric had to tell... He said he had something to tell her. And he was going to tell her later.
Yes. And so, we come to that the next morning.
Come to the next morning.
Which they had that night. They said they had a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
They did a lot of talking. No hanky-panky.
No hanky-panky, a lot of talking, but he didn't bring this up, though.
No.
He didn't bring it up at night when they was talking. He waited till the morning, which I think was smart.
Mm-hmm.
You wait till your first full day of marriage. You get all the other stuff out the way first.
Mm-hmm.
He tells her. He looks in her eyes. You know what? I was married before. And said she told her that he was married for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
He had been divorced for 3.
Yes.
Hadn't had any contact with her in a while, and that their marriage was convenience.
Yeah.
That
he lets us know again. There was no ring.
No way.
There was no ceremony. It was just a piece of paper.
Right, because in Georgia, all you had to do was sign a piece of paper.
That's all. Now, I told my husband, my thing was, they got married for convenience. They was married for 6 years.
6 years of convenience.
Why we gotta be married for 6 years?
6 years of tax breaks. 6 years of
I don't understand.
extra then military, so 6 year extra benefits, military benefits. 6 years of all kind of different things. So they just would use that for benefit. I mean, it happens all the time, believe it or not. But he was married for 6 years, and I guess they realized it's not gonna work out. He was young, so we did the math.
Or maybe she was already ready to get her own benefits.
Right, own benefits. But we did with the math. He was 25 years old.
Yes.
So when we did the math, he was 25 at the time, so he was young. He didn't know any. Well, I can say he didn't know any better. It felt right for him at the time.
I don't know if it felt right. Maybe he'd be like, he looks like he's a helpful kind of person.
It made sense in his.
Yes.
It made sense for him.
Yes.
It made sense for him, and so Virginia didn't feel like any type of way about it. She didn't. She didn't. She responded, normally.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are like, ooh, she didn't want like, oh, it's not fair. You already been married and not like that. She was like, okay.
Yeah.
She didn't really feel any type of way, or that she didn't show that she felt any type of way.
Right. Right. So
and I think a lot of that because she's already been around a lot of divorce in her life.
Uh-huh.
She know how it is. She know it doesn't matter because you're divorced. Our marriage is not gonna work out because I see a divorce. My dad was divorced and my mom divorced, and their marriage is working. So that's one of the things that probably wasn't surprising to her.
Right. And so then we go from there. Eric and Virginia meet each other's family.
Right.
And so Eric meets with, which I was really surprised. I guess what was said explains why. Mm-hmm. But Eric met with Virginia's dad, who we know from the beginning was not all excited about the process.
No, he wasn't a big fan of this.
He wasn't a fan of the process, but Eric meets with her dad and his wife, the stepmom who showed up and surprised her when she was picking a wedding dress.
Right.
So I was surprised that Dad would be there, but it makes sense that Dad would be there because he's not a fan of the process. And as he's talking to Eric, he explains too that he's very protective of her. She's his youngest and his only daughter. Which we try to figure that out too because we know Virginia told Eric about her sister. But we had to remember that, okay, that's probably not her dad's child.
Right. Because
her mom was married, divorced, married her dad, divorced, remarried.
Yep, and all y'all keeping track at home on that. We're keeping track too. We had to keep that straight.
And her dad was first married to her mom, divorced, now married to the stepmom.
Now married to stepmom, so which he has other kids, but Virginia his only girl.
Yes. His only daughter.
We got that straight. Check.
Phew, okay. So yeah, because we had to do that. But so he's very protective.
Yeah.
And he said, his first reaction, it wasn't good with the whole process. He did acknowledge that. But Eric wants to soothe his fears. And while he was being honest with Virginia, he said, I'm going to just go ahead and be honest with them too. He said, I told her, I'm going to tell you, I am 34.
Right.
First of all. And the parents was like, okay.
Yeah, it's not.
They took the age thing well.
They took the age thing well. 8 years is not too. Once you get over 18,
and
even let's say even 21, age really doesn't make too much of a difference at that point for some people.
For some people, and so he tells them that he's 34 and he was previously married, and so dad and stepmom kind of look like.
But Dad was cool with it.
Put it in perspective, yes.
Dad was cool with it because he understands. He said, well, Virginia comes from a product of divorce, so she understands that. She knows how things are. So I'm all right with it. He asked the question, do you have any contact with your I can say baby mama, your ex-wife, and he was like, no.
Eric said it was a clean break.
It was a clean break.
I don't have no ties to her. I've been divorced for 3 years.
Hadn't heard from her.
Haven't heard from her.
And that's what made that what settled Dad. That what made Dad at ease, because he realized, you know what, my daughter's not getting into a marriage with drama.
Yeah, he was like, I feel better that it's not very close to this relationship.
Yes.
If it was a closer time frame, hint, hint, Chris. If it was a closer time frame, I'd be concerned. If she was still around and could pose a threat or some kind of issue, I'd be concerned.
I'd be concerned.
But he said that's not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case. No threat. None
so
of that.
they're the ones too. In this case, Eric expressed to them that, you know, I'm in this wholeheartedly, and for me, divorce is not an option. We heard the other parents say it. In this one, Eric is saying divorce is not an option, which he's saying to parents that have been divorced.
Who've been divorced.
And he's been divorced.
Which is funny because, I mean, you got a person who's been divorced, right? And Eric's been divorced before. He's been down this road, but he's committed to the process. I think I said in one of the other reviews, he's committed to this process.
Yes.
It's going to be something, and I think I said on the first video, it's going to be something that it's going to have to take either Virginia's drinking too much, her partying too much, to make Eric not stay married to her.
Or just showing her immaturity from her age.
Showing her immaturity from her age, but it won't be from his side.
No.
I don't think it will be from his side. I think in decision day comes down to it, he'll say yes because he doesn't want to be divorced again.
And so he asked her parents for some divorce, and Dad says, you know, y'all gonna be the best of buds. Well, no, Dad says me and you are going to be the best of buds if you just take care of my daughter well.
You take care of her.
If you take care of her. And
spoke like a true father.
Yes. The one thing he did say to Eric is that because she experienced the divorces with her parents, she has been more leery of commitment.
Yeah.
So she just needs reassurance. She is guarded. They did mention to her, you know, remember... her age, she does like to party, and she likes to hang out with her girlfriends. So just keep that in mind. That's what she does.
That's what she likes to do. So
with your age and her age, that might be a little bit of a rub. Just keep that in mind.
And he has to realize that she's younger. She likes to hang out, and they're gonna have to compromise on that. They're gonna have to be a good compromise.
Yes. So then we see Virginia meet with Eric's family.
Yeah.
With his mom and her friend.
And his niece.
And his niece, which we thought was so cute because the niece, her name was Samantha. She said, well, what was your first impression of Uncle Eric?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's cute.
I thought that was cute, man. And you know, Virginia said she was like, I like him.
He is so cute.
He's so cute. He's like, wow.
He's cute, check. We gonna check boxes again. He's cute, check. He's taller than me, check. I like it.
I like it. You know, so she was excited. You know, and they didn't really grill her too much. I mean, they had some decent questions, but really didn't grill too much about what was on with her.
She asked them, how is Eric? Does he ever get wild at times? Does he ever have some time to get? And Mom was like, well, yeah, like he likes to have fun. You know, he ain't gonna be real crazy about it, but yeah, he likes to have fun. Mom,
with the moderations.
Yes, with their moderation.
With their moderation, yeah.
Monty, Mom's friend, said, well, Eric's not the type of person to stand in the middle of a room and say, hey, look at me. He's not an attention getter. She said she stressed that. That's just not him. He's real low key. That's how he's going to be. But he does have a good time.
And we saw that. We saw that at the bachelor party. That Eric, you know, he was sitting there chilling. Everybody else was talking to strippers and doing whatever. He was just having fun.
Yeah.
He was in his own world.
The one thing Virginia shared with them is that she's used to having her own space. And so their concern too is that, you know, he's a pilot. Yeah. So he's here and there and everywhere. And like I said, Virginia said she's used to having her own space. So she said she think it'll be good the times when they're apart. And then when they come back together, they can reconnect. But it'll give her a chance to have that space that she's used to having.
Right, and that was key there because she said, you know, when you get into this marriage and she gets to have her own space, he's gone 4 to 5 days or 3 to 4 days out of the week. So he's gone, and so now she has time to recuperate. She has time to reinvest. She has time to think about issues and problems. Oh, but also she has time to miss him.
Yes.
That's the one of the key things. She has time to miss him because of his being able to fly and being a pilot. So she has time, and she still has time to hang out with her girls. I look at it from that way. Like, so if Eric was gone those days, the days that he's gone, she can still hang out with her girls and still do what she needs to do. And when he's back home, she can devote all her attention towards him.
Yep. They did ask her about children because Mom says, I have been waiting to be a grandmother. I want grandkids. How you feel about it? Virginia's like, I'm 50-50. Let me blow the wind out of your sail. Take the wind out of your sail.
Yeah, I'm 50-50, but I'm sitting here thinking, well, if that's Eric's niece, then don't you already have a grandchild?
But she wants grandkids, right?
From
but
Eric.
she wants grandkids from Eric.
From
Like
Eric.
she's always wanted from him.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's 50-50. I mean, I think in marriage, it's got to be, first of all, it's day one. And everybody's talking about kids. I mean, I didn't like the situation with Chris and all of them, and even Woody from last year, talking about, having a honeymoon baby. Get to know your spouse first. Get to know your spouse.
I agree.
And before we even have the conversation about kids or getting kids or wanting kids, and know them.
I agree, but also, these are some things we want to talk about in advance. Just even if it's, do you want to have kids? That's a conversation we can have because if you've gotten to the point where in a normal relationship where you want to marry somebody, you've already approached that topic. And just preface it, I'm not asking you this because I want to have kids. I just want to know going into it before you be like, what's her name, Jeannie Mai, who was married, had been telling her husband she didn't want kids. And he thought she was going to change her mind. No. And they end up getting divorced. So I think you should put stuff like that out on the table. Or you could be like somebody we know. We asking them, how soon you think you want to have kids? And come to find out they was pregnant when we was having this conversation.
Pregnant when we having the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. You probably should have waited.
Should have waited on that one. Yeah.
And that's why you asked that question too.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, so she said, yeah, Eric really likes kids and, he wants to be a dad. So later we see Virginia and Eric talk about that, that she shared with his mom that I'm kind of 50-50 about kids. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just not in a rush about it. Your mom's really excited about grandkids. And he was like, yeah, she wants some.
She grandma crazy.
She likes it. As far as the conversation he had with her parents about, her partying and everything, he says, meeting with them went fine. He understands her having fun. He shared that when he was in college, he did have some wild and crazy times. So he understands, kind of trying to put it in perspective with her age. He understands, the age she is, but, just...
So bring it in a little bit.
Bring it in a little bit.
Yeah, bring it in. And that's one of the things that he just, doesn't mind you having fun, but she just has to learn how. She's going to have to learn how to bring it in because even when they come to the room, I'll go back real quick. When they came to the room, first thing she did look for the mini bar, and he was like, "Now hold on for a minute, hold on, relax, just relax a little bit." So.
All right, and so we'll keep going with Eric and Virginia. They get their basket. They find out they're going to Vegas. And Virginia's never been to Vegas.
And Eric, of course, the pilot, he's been there several times.
Yes, and so he says, he's gonna have to show her the ropes. He's gonna have to introduce her and show her. What the Vegas life is about.
What Vegas life is all about.
Yeah. But like you said, I do want to throw that in there too with Virginia and Eric. When they get there, that's when, before they leave the hotel.
Yeah.
They're on the way out with their bag. She said, oops, I forgot something. She go back and grab a bottle. When they get to Vegas, like you said, first thing she finds that mini bar. Oh, snap. He was like, what are you doing? She was like, I found a mini bar. He's like, come on, babe.
Look, she lucky. Look, if y'all been to Vegas or been in any hotel, that junk expensive.
Don't mess with it.
Don't mess with that stuff. now, of course, Married at First Sight might be fitting the bill.
Oh, probably.
They're fitting the bill for this hotel. So she can drink as much as she wants at the mini bar.
But I think at the same time, he's telling her,
slow down.
Slow down.
You got a $50 bottle of whatever.
Yeah. And so he encourages her. He was like, why don't we wait on the mini bar? Let's just have some champagne.
And she listened.
And so they have a toast to their first time in Vegas together. Her first time, period.
First time,
And she says, and both of them expresses a little bit of sexual tension there. Yeah. And he says, I kind of been ready to go there, so I don't know, Vegas might be the place.
Whatever happened, whatever happened in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, somebody else said that, and we'll talk about
that. All right, let's go to Chris.
No,
you don't want to go there yet?
No. We gotta leave the bombshell last.
All right,
we gotta do that.
We go to Vincent and Brianna.
Okay, we're going to do Vincent and Brianna.
Vincent and Brianna get to the room. She's excited about who Vincent is. She's like, I like my man. I like his body. He got a nice little bod. He got a nice bald head. She like, help me get out this dress. And, she goes and takes her makeup off. And you was like, she looked different.
You're not supposed to tell
Oh, my bad. Like, her makeup really helped. Nah, she's still she's a pretty young lady.
She's pretty. But, yeah, definitely. I was like, you could tell she took the makeup off.
You can tell she took the makeup off. Yeah. No, but
she ain't take them lashes off.
She take
That's
lashes
right, girl.
But leave them lashes on. But no, she had a good time they had a good conversation. They sat up and talked all night, and she was like, hold on. I was talking, and next thing I know, he's snoring. Now that remind me of somebody. I ain't say no names who that remind me of. Remind me of myself.
I'm about to say, it wasn't me. It was not me.
It remind me of myself. Because she be like, we be sitting there talking in bed at night, and she like, and I be it don't be sounding like that. It don't sound like
worse.
It don't sound like that. Worse. But anyway, Vincent, you're a man that's my own heart, dog. When you're tired. You got to sleep. You got to sleep. But nah, they said they had good conversation. No hanky-panky.
No.
Some cuddling.
Yes.
A lot of cuddling.
Lots of cuddling.
They got up the next morning, and Vincent talked about how he is a breakfast person.
Yeah, she said, so you the type that eat breakfast like all day? He was like, yes, I can eat breakfast all day with some bacon or whatever. She was like, so let me find out I got to fix you some breakfast. He was like, that would be nice if you did that.
She's like, I ain't going to do it all the time. She's like, I ain't going to do it all the time. He said, man, I can eat breakfast. When I come home at night, 9 o'clock at night, I can eat
midnight snack.
I can eat breakfast and some eggs. Man, that sounds like somebody else we know. Live in my house.
Yes.
Little joker can eat eggs all the time. But, so they had good conversation, good chemistry. I liked them. I love
Bria. There's always a couple that I feel like, man, I really like them. Like, I loved Deanna and Greg. I liked Keith the Iris. He ruined it, but
I like Amani Woody. I like
Amani and Woody.
I like Miles and Karen.
Miles and Karen.
I there's some couples. I really like Beth and Jamie. I thought they would work out. I thought Crazy would be crazy.
I don't know.
I just took the notion of Chris Rock. Chris Rock said on his stand-up, if you're crazy, you gotta be with somebody who's crazy. Yeah. So when you're crazy, so.
We liked Danielle and Bobby a lot. They was real smooth and even keeled. So I think if we were keeping a track of our record, I think our record's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Brianna and Vince gonna work out because we really like them.
Yeah, they're gonna work out. But they had a good conversation. They talked about the breakfast thing. They talked about romancing each other. They talked about having fun, and they get to meet each other's family. She said, "Are you ready to meet my family?"
And I'm trying to remember, did they exchange numbers then?
Oh yes, yes. Forgot about
they exchanged numbers.
He said, "Let me get your phone."
She said, "Oh, you got to ask me different."
Ask me different than that. He said, "Well, can I get your number, please?"
And so she takes his phone and she puts the number in.
She like wifey emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji, which is cute. I always think that part is funny to me. Like, why y'all wait till the day after to ask for a number? I'll ask for your number that day. Like, yo, can I get your number?
I guess it's just something to do. And the funny part is, again, I don't know if this is something that always happens. I feel like it doesn't though, where they exchange numbers. But I always think it's cute. When they show them exchanging numbers. Mm-hmm. And I feel like everybody don't do that necessarily.
Yeah.
Which is dumb, but...
Look, I'll get your number. Can I get your number?
No. You have my number.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So we see Brianna and Vincent meet with their families.
Right.
Brianna meets his cousin, Jeanette. Mm-hmm. And they didn't say who the guy and the girl, the other female were. Because Jeanette did most of the talking. She said, I'm Vincent's cousin. Mm-hmm. But I'm like his big sister. Like his big sister, yeah. I'm very protective of him. And so she said, I want to know what you bring to the table. Mm-hmm. What is it that you're looking for? What you bring to the table? And Brianna was like, well, I'm happy you asked. I'm an engineer. I graduated from college. I'm this. She ran it down.
She can run down her resume.
And Jeanette was like, I'm impressed.
But does that make all? See, this is where I just because you all that in your personal life, don't mean you're gonna be a good wife.
You mean professional?
I mean professional life. Sorry. All because you all that in your professional life don't mean you're gonna be a good wife.
No, but it does let me know that you have yourself together.
It does. You have yourself together, but it could also mean you caught up in your work too.
Well, it's funny that you would say that because to jump ahead, that's what they shared with Brianna. Is he's an entrepreneur. I'm sure you know that. He's an entrepreneur, but he's a workaholic. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to get his phone from him. He's been known to work all into the night, all through the weekend. Right. So you're going to have to pull that back on him.
Which I understand that too. You understand that when you're an entrepreneur, your phone is constantly going on. But because that's your business. It's not like you got to set hours 9 to 5. It's like people are constantly reaching out to you. So you got to. I think with him and her,
you need to set hours.
You got to set hours.
Yeah,
I've learned that.
I'm talking about him.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you gotta have a balance, and I'm learning you gotta have a balance. And both of them are movers and shakers. Mm-hmm. They're a power couple because her engineering and his entrepreneurial spirit. He got to be power. And then he has to understand, and he really understands that she got his back.
Yes. And that's what she said. She said. I'm looking for somebody that's a presence in my life that we can share with each other, that we can care and love, somebody will care and love me, and that will travel with me. Yeah. He wants to have her back, and he wants somebody to have his back. And based on what she's saying to his family, she's saying the same thing.
Yeah, she's saying the same thing.
The one thing that she did ask is like, okay, so how is he like when he gets mad? Like, how do and so Jeanette was like, when he gets mad, you're going to have to calm him down. Yeah. Like, he going to go 0 to 100.
But I think she left that open-ended. Yeah. She didn't say what caused him to get mad because when they eventually talked, he was like, it takes me a lot to get me mad.
Right.
And so,
but I'm thinking that it takes a lot to get me mad. So most people like that. Yeah. Most people, if it takes a lot to get them mad, when they're mad, they mad for this, that, and the third. Yeah. And so you gonna get all of it. So it can be explosive, but yeah. But
I just didn't like the way that she said it because the way they edited it made it seem as if he's a hothead. Right. And you can tell based off his demeanor that he's not that he's not a hothead, but that it's something that if it sets him off, it's going to set him off and he's going to go there. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad that she was able to bring that back and have a conversation with him about it. Yes. And they was able to discuss it. He's like, nah, this is what it is.
He was like, nah.
Nah, that's not me. That's not me, dog.
So then we see Vincent meets with Brianna's mom, Nidra, her friend Kiara, and her sister Brittany. And Brittany was pretty quiet the whole time. But, Kiara did have some things to say. They wanted to know, how's he feeling? He says, I don't have any immediate concerns. I don't have any concerns. They say that you need to know how do you handle confrontation. Yeah. And the same thing they talked about in their vows. I want somebody to call me on the carpet. I want somebody to, that's going to be like, hey, don't do that. Why you do that? That they can talk it out, and the mom and Kiara's like, you definitely gonna get that with Brianna. Yeah, Brianna. She gonna call you on your stuff.
She gonna call you on your stuff. She's the boss. She's a boss chick. I mean, it is what it is. She's a boss chick, so she's gonna call you on your stuff, and whether you deal with it is gonna be how you handle it. Mm-hmm. How are you gonna deal with it? Are you gonna rise to the occasion and get better, or are you gonna be feeling sad and licking your wounds? Mm-hmm. Or what are you gonna do with it? Because again, when somebody call you on your stuff, there's only two things you can do with it. Fix it, or
get mad about it.
Or get mad about it. But if you really love the person and they coming to you in a place out of love, guess what you do? You'll fix it. Mm-hmm. You want somebody to call you on your stuff like, dog, you did that wrong. Or you know what, that wasn't right. You should have did it this way. So can we fix this? How can we fix this so we never visit this situation again? Especially in marriage. Yeah. Especially when you're newlyweds, there are gonna be some things that you're gonna encounter because you come from two different backgrounds. You come from different. You see marriage two different ways. Mm-hmm. With him, he got married. He see. Not having a father in his life. Yes. Her coming with a marriage. So there's going to be things that she saw differently. Call me out on my stuff. Let me fix it so we can work on this thing together. Yeah. And so that's why I think it's going to be good for him to have her call him out. But it's also going to be good for him to call her out because she's the boss chick everywhere she goes. She doesn't want anybody that she can run over at home.
Yes, absolutely.
She wants somebody that can give her kind of, not bump heads fighting, but give it back to her just a little bit. A man with a backbone. Let me put it that way.
Yes, that's it right there. A man with a backbone. They asked when was his last relationship. He said, his last relationship was almost 2 years, and it ended at the beginning of the year. So we find Chris's was a little more recent, but we do find somebody else that was in a relationship.
But it wasn't engaged.
Before, no, they weren't engaged. But he said it ended at the beginning of the year, and he shared like he always, like he has before, that the problem was his career was a problem for her. She couldn't support him. She didn't understand, all the changes that as an entrepreneur that I'm going through. He lacked the support from her.
She wanted him with a 9 to 5. I think, and I guess it's not a bad thing, because I guess when you look at it, that stability. Women want stability. You're doing a 9 to 5. At least I know you guarantee paycheck every week. I guaranteed amount for the most part. I'm in stability. When you're an entrepreneur, you can have good moments. You can have bad moments. You can have, where you're riding high for 4, 5, 6 months. And then when, after the 4, 5, 6 months, you can go in a low for like 4, 5, 6 months. And I think that's when some relationships, they can't handle that. But that's where it comes money management, though.
Yeah.
That's when it comes when you know how, okay, these 6 months that I'm riding high and we making money hand over fist.
Store up for the lean time.
We're storing up for the lean time.
And so mom pretty much said that too. Was like, oh, okay, so you're an entrepreneur, but what if that doesn't work out? What's your plan B? And he says, I'm working on my real estate exam. I'm going to do it that way. But still another entrepreneurial type thing. Mom was kind of like,
But there's nothing wrong with that. And see, I think people have that fear of, because everybody in real estate, it works, but he's a connected person that I'm succeeding in this business. I've got this another avenue. I got multiple streams of income. There's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur. And people have the fear of entrepreneurs not being successful, which is totally not true. Yeah, some entrepreneurs have failed businesses. That's fine. But they're happy though. You find most entrepreneurs, when they find in their realm of doing what they love, they're happy.
Yeah.
They're happy. People who go to 9 to 5s, and I'm nothing against 9 to 5s, they're kind of miserable sometimes. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
You talking about me?
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you.
No, I'm not miserable at all.
I know you love it. You love what you do.
But anyway, last thing. Mom says she's very protective of her daughter, and so she expects Vincent to be the same. I expect you to protect my daughter and look out for her, or else gonna be trouble. Kind of like Kiera said, we gonna fight.
But what? Last thing, I think with the entrepreneurial thing, I don't think it will be an issue in their relationship, because long he's bringing in the money, and they're meeting and they can put their stuff together and realize how powerful they can be, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
So we see them get their basket. They find out they're going to Las Vegas. They've been to Vegas before.
Yeah, they've been to Vegas.
Both of them have been to Vegas before. And so we see them get there. They want to do a little relaxing. Like, Brianna asked, what you want to do? He was like, I want to, relax or whatever. She was like, relax. Can we do a little something crazy? He was like, okay, we can do a little relaxing, a little something crazy. So we see them get to Las Vegas. Looked like they had a good flight. But as they're coming in, we see Vincent get a phone call.
He get a phone call from Jeanette.
That their grandma had a heart attack.
The grandma had a heart attack. He's upset, and he's like, if I need to go back, I'll go back. Yeah,
they said they're willing to, if he needs to leave, they'll fly him back. And he says, I don't want to be a party pooper. I don't want to ruin the honeymoon. She was like, it's not going to ruin it. It's unexpected. It's out of your control. You do what you got to do.
And we'll go back together. This is what I like, because she's speaking French. Oui. She said we go back. She didn't like, I'm going to stay in Vegas while you go back. No, she's like, we'll go back.
Yes.
Which I like, because she supported.
That's what he wanted.
It reminded me of Iris and Keith. When Keith, remember when Keith...
Oh, sucker.
Well, I bring Keith up. You don't like Keith. You don't like Keith. But when Keith's grandma was sick, Iris was there. And family was there. So it's like, she was supporting him. Brianna supporting Vincent, even now, after being married for one day. She's like, we go back. I got you. I'll support you there. We'll do whatever we need to do.
Yes.
And he was like, she got my back.
He liked that.
He liked that.
So, last thing with them is we find, Vincent's just going to be waiting to hear Grandma going through some tests and see what they need to do at that point.
Yeah.
All right, so
Mm-hmm.
One more before the bomb.
Yeah.
Let's go. Haley and Jacob.
Haley and Jacob get to the room. They awkward. Man, Jacob was like, he wish he could get a kiss, but he's not gonna try to push anything. They get in the bed. He got his, hairy chest.
It's not that bad.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, they get in bed. They have conversations.
He got muscles. He got muscles.
You have muscles too. All you ate was meat, red meat, and eggs. All he eats is protein, and he goes on and on and on in bed while they sit there and have conversation. With a point where she was like, God, dog, I
know a whole lot about my husband. That he works out.
Eat red meat.
Red meat.
Eat eggs. Works out.
More red meat.
More eggs.
More red meat.
And more working out.
Yeah.
So all he does is eat, work out, eat, and work out. And they didn't really have too much conversation in bed. He asked for a kiss. We don't know if he ever got that kiss that he asked for or not.
I'm thinking he didn't.
I'm gonna think he didn't. She said it takes her a while to warm up to people.
Mm-hmm.
So, which again, why would you go through this process if it takes you a time to warm up to people? That's to me. Everybody who always said that, it does not work out well in their relationship.
No.
It takes me a long time.
What ends up happening is they use these 8 weeks as they're getting to know you. And then we saw with Jeff D and Shawnee's. It was stranger danger. And they basically used, even though they were married, that was their dating time.
Yeah. So the next morning they get up and he talked about meat and breakfast again. Eating breakfast and meat. He likes to talk, but about himself. I think that's one of the, and he's a typical computer guy.
Yeah, but he didn't talk about. He's not even talking about that.
He didn't talk about that.
I feel like at least if he varied his conversation and talked about that might would help. But anyway, we see Haley and Jacob go meet with their families. Mm-hmm. Haley meets with his mom and his dad, Edward. Edward has a question, okay, who woke up first? And she says, usually I'm the type to sleep late.
Right.
But we both woke up to the alarm. And so tell me about Jacob. And Mom was like, he's always been a great kid. He's been a kind of a loner.
Mm-hmm. Red flag.
People said he's 5 going on 85. He's quiet a lot.
Red flag.
And she was like, well, I'm used to being social, so I hope he don't have a problem with that. And no, I don't think he will. He's just not social.
He's just not social. He's a hermit.
Yeah.
He's a hermit. He likes to stay in his own little castle.
I feel like Jacob got it honest. His parents didn't seem like they were very varied in their conversation. They didn't seem like they had a whole lot to say.
They didn't.
It might be editing, but they just didn't look like they had a lot to say.
They didn't have a whole bunch to say. When he met her parents, he talked about the same thing.
We just had this conversation
last night
at the reception.
And he's proud of his house.
I understand.
He's proud
he's like, oh, I want to show you. I pretty much accidentally turned my house into a spa. Look, if you look on the security camera, let me pull up the security camera footage. And the mom, she's so funny. She looked at it like she hadn't heard it before.
She was so nice.
The brother was sitting there like, oh God,
not again. He was sitting there thinking like, dog, this is my brother-in-law? Really? We're going to have to hear about this every time at Christmas dinner. He's going to always show us his security camera.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, so they were like, he said, so what is this something I can do that would surprise her or whatever? And Dad was like, if you're on vacation, you can surprise her with a dive. She likes to go for a dive.
Then he goes into the story.
When I was little, my brother hit me with something, knocked me in the pool, and ever since then, my ears just fills up with water.
I don't know about diving. Diving may not be for what we need to do.
Boring. But what's some advice you could give me about Haley? And they were like, basically, when she's tired or she's hungry, she can get hangry.
Yeah.
You'll pick up on it though. You'll be able to tell.
You'll understand.
When she's tired and hungry. You can tell from her attitude. But if you feed her It's gonna be good.
And she can
And
he said she can sear
a steak.
And his
was
eyes,
like,
yes.
She didn't even tell me that.
Yeah, she didn't tell me she could sear steak.
I love steak.
I love steak. All
I eat is steak.
Red meat.
This gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
She can sear a steak.
Every night.
Yes. But they also tell her that she can shut down.
Yeah.
So give her space. She's the brother says she's a hard nut to crack, but you're gonna have to work on it. Work on cracking that nut and help her open up.
But which is gonna be hard because he's a hermit.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna be able to bring her out because he doesn't know how to. He's gonna have a hard time. They're gonna have a rough time because if she shuts down, she's gonna be done. And he's not gonna be able to bring her out because that's not his personality.
Nah.
That's not who he is. He used to doing everything. So if she ever shuts down, it's gonna be hard. And
but he might be able to come up with a computer program to help her open up.
Stop! Don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, he's a computer guy.
Might have a graphic tee for her.
Which we find out, yes, when they get their baskets and they find out they're going to Las Vegas and they're packing up to go. Okay, so Haley says she's been to Vegas 7 times in the last year for work, and they're packing their stuff and getting ready, and he was like, oh, maybe I should wear this. It's a tie-dyed Harambe shirt. Or maybe I should wear this shirt. It's a, what was it, Dragon something.
Yeah, Dragon.
From an old 80s movie that didn't really pick up much. And then he had these jorts, and he had
some red shoes. At least
she was like, you gonna wear all that together?
Well, the shoes matched the shirt.
Yeah, but she was like, you gonna wear all that together?
They can know you're a tourist.
But he ends up wearing the Harambe shirt. Yeah.
She's gonna have to help him with fashion and everything. She's gonna have to help him out. He's gonna be, again, I think they can work, but they're gonna have to have conversations.
Yeah, because Haley says she don't feel like she's married.
She says she don't feel like she's married. She feel like she's just a friend in a relationship with somebody. She's gonna have to come out of her shell. He's gonna have to keep her out of the shell.
Yeah.
And show a different side of him where it's funny. Now I think he's a funny dude.
Oh yeah, I mean we saw that in another, from Unfiltered. He's got a good sense of humor. But yeah, so she said she's going forward. She's looking forward to getting to know him a little bit better. Yeah. She does see his goofiness. He jokes when he pulls out his graphic tees. He said, "Yeah, if you saw me in this outfit, you probably swipe left, huh?" But anyway. So in Las Vegas, they're looking forward to going on some excursions, getting to know each other better and building chemistry. And in Las Vegas, they go to bed that night and they actually do share a kiss.
They do actually share a kiss. She actually gives him a kiss. He is like he's in heaven. He finally gets the kiss that he's been waiting for. He cuddles up and he gets the kiss. He's been wanting that kiss.
Yes, he has. So that's where we leave with Haley and Jacob. I kind of have hopes for them. I don't know.
It wasn't as awkward as last time.
It wasn't. It's getting better.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. But the most cringy, awkward couple for the episode.
I'm gonna say right now they're ranking as Married at First Sight's worst couple. They're up there though. They're totally up there. This is day one. Within the first 12 hours, we've gotten all kind of fireworks from this couple. We have stuff that we can talk about for days with this couple. Where it can be just separate videos. Which
just
we probably
from 24 hours.
Probably end up doing separate videos about Chris and Paige.
We might need to.
We might need to. But anyway, they get to their room. Alright? They get to their room and they find nothing but condoms in the bathroom.
Which we already know she don't like them.
She doesn't like them. She doesn't like condoms at all. And and he
but they probably should use them because he ain't on she's not on no contraceptives. And
in which we find out for Unfiltered that she thought that was so awkward. Those questions that he asked her were like the worst. Yes. Because she thought those were like, why did you ask me that? Why? Already? You're asking me these questions. She felt really embarrassed.
At the reception.
She felt really embarrassed. So if you haven't watched Unfiltered, go watch it. She felt really embarrassed.
She was so embarrassed.
She was so embarrassed when she watched it back. These questions. But they have conversation. He goes into the camera and talks about how he's not attracted to her, but he's getting there. It's like 10%. He's 10%. I'm saying here like this dude still saying he's not attracted to this woman, and you're still being honest. You're still telling everybody that you're not attracted to this woman. And I can't. Again, I don't knock him for his honesty, but there's a time and place for everything.
Well, yeah, and
this is not the time or place.
And I guess it's the way you be tactfully honest. Like
he's not tactful at all.
No, I mean he's brutally honest.
He has no filter. He's not being tactful at all. But he's not. He hasn't said that to her yet. Until. So now, mind you, Chris goes. They get up
next morning.
Next morning they get up. Next morning she said they talked all night. You know. The next morning, Chris goes out
to get some menus so they can have breakfast.
Now he leaves at 8:55. Here comes 9:05. Here comes 9:55.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
No Chris.
No Chris.
She's like not understanding what happened.
What happened? Did you get lost going to get the menus? Did you get on the wrong elevator? It's a big hotel. Did you forget what room it was in? did you go to the wrong room? Did somebody kidnap you in Vegas? What happened? What's going on? And he finally comes back.
We're not in Vegas yet.
I mean, not Vegas, sorry. In the hotel, sorry. Atlanta, sorry.
He comes back, and she's like, what happened? Where you been? And he was like...
Here comes the manipulation.
I had a panic attack, so I had to get away and clear my head. I had a really bad panic attack. And she was like, what did you have a panic attack about? What's troubling you? What's going on?
And she's trying to be such a good wife.
What happened?
She's been a good wife. We already know they exchanged numbers because she's trying to call him and go straight to voicemail, which means he's sending it to voicemail. Anytime somebody calls you and they send it to voicemail. But she's being a good wife. She's trying to get that listening ear. She's trying to be there for him. And again, manipulation and witchcraft is taking place because he's like, well, I'm having anxiety.
Wait, before that though. In asking him too, she says, we made these vows, at our wedding, we said, so I need you to, if we're going to fulfill those vows, I need you to meet me halfway. So tell me what's going on. Go ahead.
I'm having these, I'm having some anxiety, I'm really not attracted to you like that. Fully.
I know on paper you're all I need, but the attraction isn't fully there. And so that's what made me panic.
And I was like, huh? Like, dog, you had a panic attack because of that? Because I know you what I need, but you're not what I'm used to looking. Because if you was used, dumb Donald, if you were used to, if she looked like what you were used to, you would have married a girl that was 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. You went on the show to get something different from what you're used to because whatever you was used to didn't work because you hadn't found love and you're not married.
Which I said that before, yeah.
So what are you not getting that the experts gave you something that you needed, not what you wanted? See, it's different with what you want and for what you need. You needed somebody or you need somebody to have your back or somebody that's going to hold you accountable. Somebody's going to put their foot down on you. Somebody's going to make you responsible. Somebody can help you grow up as to be a man. And you're telling her no. And we see how childish he is because you say all this after you had sex with her.
Which, that's what we find out. She off the camera. I don't think she ain't said there with him.
No, she's on camera.
She said it would have been nice if we had this conversation before we touched, kissed, or whatever. Because we was intimate last night.
And this morning.
Oh, and this morning.
So if he would have had this conversation with her last night, she wouldn't have to. She feels dirty. She feel bad. How would you like to wake up? Or you done had sex with somebody. You gave him your goodies, your treasure box, your gifts, whatever you want to name it, your candy dish, whatever. And now he tells you that what? I'm not attracted to you like that. And you're
She's like, oh my God.
She felt bad.
She said, how? She said, I'm confused. I've never been with a guy who wants to have sex multiple times to somebody he's not attracted to.
Who
does that? Where do you do that at?
He is a sex addict.
That's the conclusion we came to.
He has for all you spiritual
Y'all
folks.
did too.
Spiritual folks, he had a sex demon. he couldn't stop masturbating for 3 days.
But y'all came to that conclusion too. He lacks self-control. He lacks self-control. And
except for when he's fasting, because 3 days he has self-control.
But the fact that you had to fast.
For 3 days.
For 3 days to not do that.
To not masturbate.
Come on, bruh. So we see Paige after this. She goes and meets with Chris's mom, his dad, and his aunt Karen. And one thing we noticed off the top.
Anyone else notice why Dad sat beside Paige? Wouldn't you be? I would think he sat beside his wife.
Sit beside your wife, bro.
Sit beside your wife, dog. I'm not saying it's just weird to me. Sit beside your wife.
Plus, I would think since they're talking to each other that you would want, Paige to be here and looking at all of y'all on the other side.
On the other side, maybe just that big. He couldn't fit on the other side. I ain't trying to be funny.
It was a rounded thing.
Maybe he needed to sit on the end.
He could have sat on the end where the mama was. No excuse.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
No.
He sat beside Paige.
No. Yeah, he sat beside her. And so she says, okay, they talk about what did you think? She says, what do you think about the wedding? And Mom and Aunt Karen are like, we think the wedding was beautiful. Your dress was beautiful. And, Dad's like, you look gorgeous. You was beautiful. He was like, And so they were like, how's everything going? She said, well, we've had a few bumps in the road, already. So I need some insight. Dad was like,
already?
Bumps in the road? Bumps in the road?
Or forks.
Or forks. Like, what's really going on? And she said, we stayed up all night talking and we shared a moment. And then in the morning, we shared another moment. And then he tells me that I'm not his typical type. And I feel like sharing the moments with him that backfired on me. You daggone right.
You gave the goodies up too quick.
Should not have.
You gave him up too quick. I know that's your husband. That's why most people wait. It's the first night. Know him. Don't let him smooth talk you again. Manipulation. He smooth talk you to drop your draw. Did you ask him for his paperwork? Did you see if he had no diseases? Remember she said that. She's like, I'm gonna ask him for my paperwork. Or she was just so hot that she really wanted to get it in. And she's feeling bad about it. And she said, I feel bad for her because again, it is something to give it up. And the person that you give it up to don't respect you or like you. And it's just sex. It's no emotion. It's no love.
That's how you know he got a problem too.
It was just sex. It was nothing intimate about it. It was just sex to him.
Dad is like, looking like, wow. And Mom is like, well, people handle things differently. Everybody doesn't handle, maybe that's the way he handled it. And Dad was like, no, listen to what she's saying, wife. She said, basically, she feel dumb. You gonna get some from me, and then tell me the next day you're not attracted to me.
She feel used.
And you got it not once but twice. She feels used. And the mom was like, which I thought was dumb because that's how Paige said it. Dad said it again. Mom was like, well, when you put it like that. I'm going to say from the jump, based on the conversation that they go and have later, I think probably Mom has probably been an enabler. She's been the person probably that he talked about when it comes to those relationship stuff. And she's like, oh, baby. And Dad is like, what?
Your dad is
thump you upside your goddamn head.
Yeah, Dad, you can tell Dad been hard. Dad been hard on him. Look, get yourself together. Tighten up, man. You wrong. And Dad called him out on this stuff later on. He called him out. Yeah,
we can go there too. Just the last thing, Dad shared that for Paige, you're my type for a daughter-in-law. I was like, ooh, we know she's your type.
Yeah, but for a daughter-in-law, he said.
For a daughter-in-law. But they were like, the mom, aunt, and dad was like, you're a beautiful girl. We don't know what's gotten into Chris's head. Like, come on. And she says, I'm not the type. I don't have sex with people that I'm not attracted to. And, this is weird for me. But Dad suggested, try writing it out, figure it out, see if you can get it together.
See if y'all can get it together, which is good advice. But again, I think that's advice where they're going to have to write it out for 8 weeks anyway. But she's hurt.
Maybe.
Maybe, but she's hurt. Alright, because it's one roller coaster of another. She's hurt. And go back to Unfiltered because she never seen the scene where he told he told her friends about the trophy wife thing.
She looks sick.
She looked sick and disgusted on Unfiltered where she saw that scene. She was like, oh my God, I never saw that. I didn't know.
They were like, did your friends tell you he said that? They were like,
They didn't want to hurt her feelings.
That's what Jacob said.
They didn't want to hurt her feelings. So when she saw that, she was disgusted and he got some issues.
She was like, I'm embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, some issues.
But we see Chris. Interesting thing. I want to throw this in here. So Paige met with Chris's family, but we don't see where Chris met with Paige's family.
And we want your opinion. Why do you think is that Chris never met with Paige's family? Leave a comment in the comment section below or type in there. Why do you think Chris never met with Paige's family? Or
maybe they did and it just did not go well.
It might not have went well, but I think
so they didn't put it on. But I would think they would have still did it.
I think they still would have put it on. I mean, probably get him a new one. Because I think Chris was honest with her family too. Like, hey, she's not my type. I think he has no filter, so he's gonna tell anybody.
I would hope he wouldn't say that to her family, because you talking about getting knocked cold out.
Dog, I just don't think he has.
Like Debo on
Friday. He's from Chicago, as he said. He has no fear. When we go into that whole thing too, he was upset that she told her parents about their sexual exploits. He was like, oh no, we don't do that. You don't talk to my parents about it. She's like, I was just trying to figure. I needed to know what was going on.
I need to know what's up with you. Is this a pattern? Do they know about this? What am I supposed to do? Because dad dug in him. I'm gonna say that. Let's say that again too. Dad dug into him. Was like, look, don't hurt that girl. Get yourself together. I understand it's a lack of attraction. You need to figure that out because she's a beautiful girl.
And she's successful. She's powerful. She's good. The experts must have thought there was something to you guys, and you said it yourself. On paper, you guys are good. On paper, you guys are great. But he in his mind, he likes again superficial. He wants the appearance.
He want a pageant girl.
He want it to look right when he goes out. He wanted to be looking like everything that trophy wife. He wants it to look, but yet he wants a nice housewife at home. You know what I'm saying? But when he goes out, he wants a video vixen. And that's what he's looking for.
Yeah. And Dad was like, I'm trying to, where's your head at, son? He was like, well, I wasn't attracted to her. I thought that maybe, by us having sex, that would help, help build the attraction. He said, but I was wrong. It didn't help.
like, what are you said it. Are you in high school? That's what you do in high school.
How old? Come on. We're old enough. You're old enough to know that having sex with somebody you're not attracted to, it does nothing but confuse the situation.
It doesn't make
it don't make you get more attracted to that person. Because then what you're attracted to is what's between their legs, not them.
Not them.
Duh.
Yeah. And you really met her. So you're looking at her beauty. You're looking at the outward. You don't know her spiritually. You don't know her inner workings. You just know her from the outward look. And she's not an ugly girl. And
you mentioned spiritually. Y'all are, oof. We're going to have to do a different video to really build on that. But y'all suck so bad. Y'all are giving good God-fearing church folks
some bad names.
Singles. I'm at that. Good God-fearing church-going singles a bad look. Because you keep talking about how I love God and that's priority. And
I pray for
how
this.
You do that? And not on Paige. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But for him especially, bruh. What kind of...
Look, she talked about the Holy Ghost. Get some discernment. Discernment was... Don't give him the goodies.
Yeah, we can't go all the way there, but I'm disgusted.
That's another video.
I'm disgusted.
That video's coming.
Yeah, so Chris is all embarrassed. He's crying. Why would you talk to my parents about that? I don't talk to my parents about my sexual exploits. I don't do that. That's weird. I'm from Chicago. We don't get down like that. I don't tell the ins and outs of my sexual exploits. You don't do that. I'm embarrassed. I feel like you went told on me. You went told my parents like I was told on me. Like I was a kid. And then she was like, I talked to my male friends because she was trying to understand. They don't understand. That's weird. How you have sex with somebody you're not attracted to.
Why are you talking about other men about me? Now she was wrong.
I disagree.
You don't talk to other men about you.
No, I disagree.
She's wrong.
No.
She is wrong.
I disagree. That's a whole. I disagree. She wanted a man's perspective.
Call your daddy.
No, she not gonna call. No, she ain't gonna call her daddy into no.
You talk to his daddy.
No,
you call your brother.
No, I'm not doing that. That's embarrassing. I would never call my dad and tell him or my brother. I gave it up too soon. I feel like such a dummy.
But you tell your male friends though.
Because that's not my parent. I don't want to never give my parent that impression of me. Come on. She would never call her dad and say that. Never.
But yeah, but you're taking what's in your marriage outside of your marriage.
No, it's not that serious. They just...
I mean, I can see why he's upset. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I can see why he's upset with that.
I mean, I do, but I don't. We still new in this. We 24 hours in. Mm. We 24 hours in. Like she said, I had these friends before you. These are who I talked to for insight. And I'm sure she called her girlfriends too. Right. But the main thing was, I'm trying to get in a man's head.
From a man's perspective.
What is going on?
Call Pastor Cal, which I don't understand. Like, they should be able to call these experts at a moment's notice, like, look, this is going on. That's an expert question. That's a Pastor Cal. Look.
But I think just like Kate and Luke, they probably be on some, you don't want to be all the way exposed.
But
it makes sense to me to say it. You know, if you watched Married at First Sight before, Kate and Luke, they had an agreement. Mm-hmm. They weren't gonna talk. They called it something. They called them having sex. Something it wasn't. It was kissing. Mm-hmm. They wasn't forthright about it.
He said it repulsed him.
They didn't want to talk to the experts about it. Right. Because they had, honestly, it was some shame about it. So you never know. Maybe that's with them too. Because to me, that would make sense. I would call Pastor Cal too and be like, what the heck did y'all do to me?
Or not even that, like, yo, this is what's going on. And we had sex, and he's like telling me he's not attracted to me. And I gave him the best I got. And she gave me, look, I mean, you can't tell me that when they had sex that night and that morning, that she didn't give him the best that she had. And he didn't give her the best. For real, they were married. So she was like, this is my husband, so we're going to go ahead and go get it in. Oh, he's making me feel this, that, and the other. Ooh, I feel good. Then for her to go back that next morning and to do it, it felt good. It was attractive. She liked it. They enjoyed it. And then for him, hours later, to say, you know what? How many anxiety attack?
That's why she said she was embarrassed. She said she was embarrassed. And she told Chris while he's going off about her talking to his family, he said he felt disrespected. She was like, you disrespected me. He said, I never did. She was like, in your eyes. Yeah. I'm telling you.
From my point of view.
And for real, Chris, stupid. How you want to say you don't understand how that lady feel disrespected? That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Have sex with nobody and be all intimate with them. He probably was kissing all on her, making her feel real nice, and then to come back and say, I'm not attracted to you. Yeah. That's disrespectful. You should have just put some money on it. That's what you did. Leave some money on the nightstand. Yeah. That's how you treated her. Like a prostitute. Come on, bruh. Why you don't see the disrespect there? I'm mad at you, Chris. I'm mad at you.
Tighten up, dog. Tighten up.
I'm mad at you just like everybody else. But anyway, they decided to let bygones be bygones.
She forgive too easy for me.
Man.
I just know in my house that wouldn't have went down like that. It would have been too easy.
They said, how you feel about the honeymoon? They find out they're going to Vegas. How you feel about the honeymoon? He said, I feel like it can't get no worse than this. It can't. But it can. But it can. He said, I feel like it can't get much worse than this. So they're looking forward to bonding and spending time. And he said, I'm ready to start over. I'm ready to start over. She's willing to start over. They want to start afresh.
Ain't nothing wrong hitting reset button.
Yeah, so when they get to Vegas, they toast to having a great honeymoon. He calls her darling. I'm waiting on you in the bed. Got the champagne. Want to pop the champagne.
Manipulation.
And she says she's excited still, and she feels like the one thing that she can say is we're getting these hard conversations out of the way early.
No, it's manipulation. He's darling waiting on you laying in the bed. He wants sex again. Catch the hint. He wants sex. Catch the hint. All he wants from you is sex. All conversation he had with her has been about sex. All he wants is sex. But he wants to do it married. It's better to marry than to burn. He wants to have sex, but he wants to do it married.
Man. That's all we got.
He wants to do it.
We want to do something separate for Chris and Paige because I'm irritated.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, we're going to do something separate. Watch out for the next video that we put out just dealing with Chris and Paige.
So, next episodes, we'll see more of the honeymoon in Vegas, and we'll see what happens there. I feel like it's just gonna get ugly.
It's gonna get ugly. Hey, before
For Chris and Paige.
For Chris and Paige. Hey, before you go, make sure you hit that bell notification. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss any of our reviews. Also, check us out. We're gonna review couples cams as well. So make sure you check that out too. Video should be dropping sometime on Friday. So make sure you look out for that.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.